Running a marathon. Yeah. Today we're going to share with you what are the lessons that you can be able to learn, success lessons that you can be able to learn when you are running a marathon. And here with me to help me discuss that is my good friend Andrew Mutua. Karibu sana. As you can see, highly decorated amateur marathon runners.
Yes.
Yeah. And we are about to show you how is it that we have been able to run this marathon as much as we are not the elite runners. So I don't know, Mr. Andrew, you can share with us about running marathon. When did you start, and what are some of the things that you would want to mention as we start?
So I think I ran my first marathon almost must have been around 2010.
Yeah.
One of the Stanchart marathon. Just I think when it was at its when it was just starting out. I think it was like maybe 2 to 3 years down the line since it began. So that's when I started. But then in between, I wasn't quite a consistent runner. But in the last 1 year or so now, I've taken on that running habit.
Yeah.
I now run at least 4 to 5 times a week, and there's a way to sort of champion or take on a goal. Every year I target to at least run 10 kilometers on either of the marathons that happen in Nairobi.
That is great, that is great. I started running, I did my first marathon 10 kilometers run 2017. Yeah, I think they're making quite some noise. Yeah, 2017. And I did my 10 kilometers, it was the first time. And since then, I have always endeavored to continue running. And this year, I was able to break again one of my records. I participated in the Beyond Zero half marathon, and I did the 21 kilometers.
Wow,
and I'm very excited to be a finisher of the 21 kilometers race. Yes, tell us. Now, what are some of the lessons that you can be able to learn from running a marathon?
I think it begins first with making that decision.
Yeah.
To actually run, and you give yourself a goal. I mean, the one way to measure that is give yourself a specific goal. So maybe at the start of the year you could say, I will commit to run a 10 kilometer or half a marathon, which is 21 kilometers. The full one is 42. So you start one with a commitment.
Yeah.
Set a goal, a measurable goal. You can say what distance you set to cover and by when. So you can look up the calendar of when major marathons happen in the course of the year, and there are many of them.
Yeah.
I mean, the major one for Nairobi that we know of is the Standard Chartered Marathon, but there are a host of others that we have in the course of the year. So just make a commitment, set a goal, specific, highly measurable, and work towards it.
And I think in that case, I would say, you don't wake up one day and say, today is a marathon day, I'll go and run the marathon.
Correct.
You have to make that decision in advance. And the same applies to success. For you to be successful in whatever endeavor that you are trying to pursue, you need to make that decision and be committed. Define success as you want to define it, but say, if I want to buy that house, I will say, I want to buy that house. I've made the decision. I will do what it takes to get that house. If it is getting a good paying job, if it is starting a family, if it is whatever area in life, it's about making that decision. It is very important for you to make that decision that, yes, I will do this, because it starts there. And today we are trying to relate the lessons you learn from running a marathon to success in life. What are some of the lessons? And that is the first thing. You need to be able to make that decision. I think there's so much that happens before the marathon itself. Yeah. So one of it is making that decision that you're going to run the marathon. What else? I think maybe I can start off. I think once you've made that decision, you should be able to prepare for that marathon. It's not just a matter of signing up and registering for the marathon, and you wait until the day comes for you to go and run. So you need to be able to prepare. That means you will be training. You create a plan in terms of, I know I have signed up for the 10 km. Right now, I need to take my like the baseline. at this point, how much can I run continuously? Then make a plan. In 2 weeks time, next week I'll do 2 kilometers, the other week 3 kilometers, next time I'll do something else. And you start going into the work bit. You do the work for you to be able to be adequately prepared on that day of marathon, so that you don't just run and faint halfway, right?
Correct. I mean,
Yes.
as I say, success is never an overnight affair.
Yeah.
It takes consistency. It takes very deliberate effort towards that. So for example, for myself, when I set out to do, so this year I have set out actually to run 21 kilometers, so half marathon.
Yeah.
And part of what I did just a couple of weeks ago with the Beyond Zero Marathon is I did 10 kilometers. I'm hoping to do another in May, another set of 10. And I believe with that and my daily runs that I do, I'll be very well prepared for the 21 kilometers. So my plan was, I had a goal, I'll do half a kilometer by October. This is during the Standard Chartered Nairobi Marathon. So what will it take me to do that? Every day I began by just running a mile every morning 5 times a week. So Monday through to Friday, I was doing about 1.6 to 1.7 kilometers every morning. I've since built that up to about 2 to 3 kilometers every morning, Monday through to Friday, 5 times a week. Sometimes I do fall back. I do on some other times I do 4 times a week or 3 times a week. But it's definitely it's part of my morning ritual. I do this towards building up the capacity to sustain a 10 and a 21 kilometer. What's your plan?
I can tell you, two people can end up being successful, but their paths are different.
Correct.
So you shouldn't be afraid to take a different path for success. I know you tend to take the daily routine running every day. I personally do run once a week, mainly over the weekend, either on Saturday or on Sunday, and I do a complete run 10 kilometers. So initially, when I was targeting to do the 10 kilometers, I would target to run the 10 kilometer run every week, but I couldn't. Sometimes I would do 8, sometimes go to 9, very few times did I get to 10. When I started targeting the 21 kilometer race, I was doing my practice every Saturday evening, and I think the farthest I had gone was about 15 or 16 kilometers. So I do one run once per week, which I think at the end of the day, when I also try to compare our results, we end up getting almost the same. If you do 1 kilometer per day or 2 kilometers per day for 5 days, that is 10 km.
Just 10 km.
I do one run, which is 10 km.
Correct.
But what works for you, it's important for you to identify. I think also there is something to do while you're training and preparing. It's something to do, you need to have a plan. And this plan also helps you to track your progress. It is very rare, or it doesn't really add value if I just decide today I'm training, I wake up, go run and come back. Ask me how long have you run? I don't know. How long did it take you in terms of duration? I don't know.
Correct.
So it is important for you also to be able to track. There's a tracking bit in terms of how long have you run? How much time have you taken? Would you like to improve on your time? Would you want to improve on your pace? Would you want to improve on your there are several things, and there are several tools that we use for tracking. I don't know, which one do you use and how does it help you keep in track?
Oh yes, the tool that I'm crazy about now is the Nike Run Club. The Nike Run Club application. It's both available for iOS and Android phones. So before I start every run, I start up my app and it will track the distance I have run and by how much, by what was my pace. And it's so important because that every time when I'm tracking, it keeps me on my toes. And I like it because when I finish my run, there's a voice that comes on and it gives you a congratulatory message.
Yeah.
It could be coming from guys like Kevin Hart, or a major personality who runs various run clubs in the Nike sports field. So this kind of congratulatory message gives you sort of that emotional or psychological boost that keeps you doing it every day. So tracking is very important, because then you can see how you can be able to improve your performance day to day.
I totally agree with that. I use an app called S Health. It is from Samsung, but anyone with an Android phone can still use it. So S Health does the same. So before I do my run, I would set my target. It gives me an option. Do you want to target? Initially, I used to target to run at least 1 hour during that time. And within your first kilometer or so, it will tell you within the first 1 hour or within the hour, your total distance will be like 8 kilometers based on your pace. You can also set a target in terms of distance. I want to finish 10 kilometers. I want to finish 5 kilometers. So there's that option. So I use it every time. Nowadays I track in terms of distance, how much do I want to cover, and as I go on every kilometer, it will give me a prompt. It will tell me you have cleared the first kilometer, you're remaining with 9 more kilometers, your current pace is this.
Correct.
Or this based on your pace, you will finish this race in the next 1 hour 10 minutes.
Correct.
And it keeps on updating you too, and I think that is really encouraging to show you actually your progress. I would run, and then I would feel like probably during that last kilometer I've really slowed down, so I keep up the pace because I want to complete it probably in a specific amount of time. So you can download it. It's called S Health, and it will accumulate all your goals, all your distance. And I think right now, if I check since last year, it tells me I've completed like 5 complete marathons.
Oh wow.
As that would be like 42 times 5. That would be around, I think, 200 and something kilometers running. And I think that tracking really gives you a lot of morale.
Yes.
And a good thing also, I don't know how the app you use, but does it. When I'm about, I think either the last 5 minutes, when you're so tired, you're about to give up, a voice comes in and tells you, almost there, you can do it. And that, as much as you feel beat, you'll still go on and finish. Yeah. So something else I would also want to mention, this is still as you're preparing for the marathon. It is important also at this point to decide to engage either a coach or someone to train you, because 3 years ago, that is 2017, I happened to be training next to some students, and these students were preparing for a cross-country championship kind of, that was the, cross-country championship, and they had a trainer, and I was lucky to hear some of the tips and tricks that they were being given. And one of the things I realized, I was just running for the sake of running, just to be able to tick that box, but there are certain ways that you can be able to run to improve on your stamina and your confidence, and to be able to do to run much faster or much better. And I think also in life, for you to be successful, when you engage a coach, a mentor, or someone at least to help you through the process, you can be able to break down like 10 years of hardship and compress it to about 6 months, even 1 year. Correct. And you are successful at what you do. I don't know what you would like to mention about that.
I mean, I think this year when I set my health and fitness goals, and I used to have them in a sense, but I never used to follow through on them. So one thing that I did, which was different, was to hire my own personal trainer. And that did not take away from my daily runs. We used to meet at least thrice a week. And the good thing was, in terms of maintaining your health and fitness, a trainer will help you have a full body workout.
Okay.
Because a run will only help in one element, which is possibly like your cardio aspect. But your body needs to be supported in other ways. So like you have to do stretching and strength training. And some of this you can only do with a trainer. And also when you have a trainer, you get to meet other people that are being trained by the same trainer. So again, you get that some kind of a boost when you're working together with other people. It's like you're in a class and you're all working towards the same goal. So they will give you the morale that you need. They will help you, push through some of those difficult training regimens that you have to go through.
So to some aspect, there is a bit of like the network effect.
The network effect is there, yeah. So a trainer and a coach, and this can apply in any aspect of your life. So if you're talking about health and fitness, if you're talking self-improvement in other elements, seek out a coach, seek out a mentor, seek out a trainer. They will help you, tie in that missing element. Initially, I used to think, when you do that, you're in a sense giving up on yourself. It's like you can't figure certain things by yourself. But it's not that. I think that extra support that you get from a coach, a trainer, as you're saying, you're able to compress 10 years worth of effort to about a year or even less, because they'll show you other aspects that you never thought of.
Totally. That is true, very true in life. I think even in business, in life, personal development, finance, think about relationship and all that kind of thing. There is no need for you to try and reinvent the wheel, while you can engage someone who has been there before and help you get there much faster and less effort, right? So you can see most of the lessons that actually you gain from running a marathon are pre-marathon. In the real marathon, it's a matter of using what you have been building up during the training into the real marathon. I don't know if there's anything that we have left pre-marathon, before the marathon is started, before we go to like during the marathon, what really actually takes place.
I think the other one is seek out discomfort.
Right.
When you think about your preparation towards running for that marathon, as with anything in life, you will have to develop a certain discipline. So think about it, like for me, I usually do my morning runs around 5:15 a.m. in the morning. That time, a lot of the people that live around where I live, and I could say a lot of the people across the country, are usually asleep. People are sleeping in. They'll probably wake up from around 6 o'clock to prepare themselves for the day.
Right.
So the discomfort will be, waking up early. The discomfort will be enduring through that discomfort, or the strenuousness and the tiredness that you go through when you're running, and that helps you build some kind of a mental toughness in your own life. So I think some of these habits that we build, I think I would call actually running or health and fitness habits like an anchor habit, because then it ripples through other aspects of your own life. So the idea of waking up when people are sleeping in, the idea of pushing through even when you feel tired and feel sort of giving up, will develop a sense of mental toughness within you, the discipline, the resilience, the resourcefulness that you require and can be able to use in other aspects of your own life.
Yeah, it is said that we always perish when we are in our comfort zone. But when you seek deliberate discomfort, you are able to move forward much faster. And maybe something I would want to add onto that, I try to bring in the aspect of incorporation, in the sense that I know running is it's very discomfort. There's a lot of discomfort. It's painful, you get tired and all that. But how can you make it much easier and better and enjoyable? So during this time, I run listening to podcasts, listening to an audiobook, or listening to something that is more. Initially, I used to do music, listen to really enjoyable music, what I like, and I would do the run. And recently I decided, the music is good, it's still, I'm enjoying, but why not feed the mind while still working out the body? So I listen to podcasts, I listen to audiobooks. So at the end of it, I do 1 hour or 1.5 hours of body workout, and I still have fed the mind. So you can, as much as we are still seeking discomfort, you can find ways to incorporate other things to make it less discomfortable, right? So you find that all these are things that you do right before you get into the marathon. Then you are well prepared, then the marathon day is here. What are some of the lessons that you can tell us that really now come to test what you have been working up to?
Wow, given my own experience, like when I was running this 10 kilometers, the first 10 kilometers that I ran last year with Standard Chartered Marathon, I remember I ran the first 3 to 4 kilometers, and then I stopped and started just walking because I was so tired.
Right.
And my goal this time was to run consistently from the start till the finish. And I remember when I first started, it was quite tough. I remember going, because we started off at around, the start off was at Nyayo Stadium. I remember you go through that uphill as you're coming down Uhuru Highway to Haile Selassie roundabout. And just pushing through that first 1 to 2 kilometers was quite tough.
Yeah.
And at some point I was telling myself I'll probably stop at some point and just begin walking. But my entire goal was to see if I could push through from the start through to the finish, consistently running and not stopping at any one point.
Yeah.
And my goal became, okay, just go past that one roundabout. And when I went through one roundabout, I told myself, God passed through that one roundabout. And before I knew it, I was going through that finish line. So it's just those small deliberate goals that you're pushing. Yeah. And you realize that daily run that you've been doing has been doing something internally.
Yeah.
It's been building your stamina.
Yeah.
It's been building your endurance. And that's why it's important. So it just comes, it kicks in. And I think when I went through, I think probably 4 to 5 kilometers, it's like I got a little bit rejuvenated. And I didn't feel that strenuousness and tiredness that I had when I was going through that first 1 to 2 kilometers. So that's what I felt. And it helped me push through one roundabout after another. Mm-hmm. It was one roundabout at a time. And before I knew it, I was crossing through the finish line.
I think I would just want to add and say, I think starting off the marathon, that is usually the most difficult part. Because also from my personal experience, the first 1 kilometer, you're already breathing hard, you're really getting tired, and you're wondering, will I really finish the race? Mm-hmm. But as you keep on going, there's now bringing the aspect of being more resilient, endurance, keeping your eyes on the goal. Correct. And saying, yes, I'll still go ahead. I'm feeling tired. I think at some point after 2-3 kilometers, your body picks up the momentum, it kicks in, have all the body organs knowing that this is a difficult task, but they get used to it. And you run, and you run, and you run. And I think that aspect of also putting those small goals, say, I am going let me just get to the next roundabout. Let me just get to the next roundabout. Let me get to the next water point. Let me get to this part. I think it keeps on pushing you, and finally you realize that you have actually finished the race. Yeah. And this is not to say that it is either easy. It's not that there's no single time that I have practiced enough for the race. I try as much as possible to do like a 21 kilometer run before the race, but I've never gotten that opportunity. But you find that during the race itself, I end up outdoing myself. I go even way beyond what I've been practicing, because keeping your eyes on the prize, I think that is one of the great things. And one of the key motivators also is like getting the medal.
Winning these medals, you need to collect more of this. They're addictive, and I just want to keep on amassing this. So definitely. I think this is a very good motivating aspect.
Yes. Yeah.
To show you that you can do it. Yeah. Maybe you can talk about the aspect of beliefs. What is this doing to you on sort of a deeper level in terms of understanding what you can do and what you can't do?
I think I will do that by giving a short story. While I was joining high school in Form 1, there's that form that you're told to take to the doctor to fill up that you, in case you have any medical conditions and all such stuff, and then it is recorded. I was okay, but the doctor asked me, is there anything that you would like me to know? I told him, medically or physically I'm okay, but I don't like running. Would you just put a note there, say that this guy should not be allowed to run? But I think the doctor was quite professional. He didn't do anything of that sort. So I hated running. Anytime we used to have those cross-country things in high school, I would have sleepless nights. I hated running.
Yeah.
Later in life, I realized that I need to exercise, and running was one of the good way of exercising. You're able to move, I guess, all the joints or all parts of your body.
Correct.
So I realized I just need to get on to this running stuff. And the fact that I registered for the 10 km marathon in 2017, I completed it. It gave me that belief that actually this thing can be done. It is doable. I did 10 km again last year. That is the stand chart. I finished 10 km and I was like, I think now I've overgrown this. I believe I can see that I can be able to do 21. And I said this year I'm going to run 2 21-kilometer race. So I've already done the first one, which is Beyond Zero.
Yes.
First lady marathon, 21 kilometers. And come October stand chart, I'll also do 21 kilometers.
So looking to improve on your time, right?
Yes, of course. Now I'm looking to improve on my time. I didn't think it would be possible, but once you have that belief, once you see it is possible, once you put yourself in that situation and stretch yourself and see the humanly possible potential in you, I don't think there's anything that can really stop you.
Yeah. It's all in the mind. It's all in the mind.
I can tell you, for Bay to run the race, this Beyond Zero, I had some issues at home. I had someone who was sick that Saturday night, so we had to go to the hospital, come back at home at around 3 a.m.
Wow.
The race was 7 a.m. and I still managed to go. I think when you have that strong belief that I will do it, I will not, I would have taken that as an excuse and say, oh, I didn't have a good night's sleep last time, why should I go and run?
Yeah.
When you have that belief, and great things happen when you believe in something, not only running, in life, anything, may it be business, may it be financial, may it be relationship, may it be a matter of creating wealth. Once you believe something is possible, irrespective of your background, irrespective of your knowledge and skills at that particular point, you believe and you pick up and start doing the work towards making that goal, to realize that goal, great things happen.
Yeah, I couldn't add anything more to that. So it's really overcoming that mental limit that you've placed on yourself. And before you know it, I can now see 21 kilometers. 10 kilometers felt like I couldn't even imagine myself doing a consistent run for a distance of 10 kilometers. Because I used to do like roughly about 1 kilometer, close to 2, and I'd feel very, very, very tired. But now I can see 10, and I did 10, and I can see myself running another 10, and I can see myself now running half a marathon, just going through those 21 kilometers. I can do it. I believe I can. And that's what you want to build. Part of this is just to build that mental belief. And I think once you go over that limit that you place on yourself, well, the sky is a limit.
That is great. Now, yes. I think our time is up. We'll be finishing right away. I would want to request that take a moment, like the video, leave a comment, tell us what you got from our session today, and also subscribe to the YouTube channel, that is Daniel Mutuku, and press the bell button so that you can get to know each and every time we release a new video. And I'll leave you with one word. Once you see it here, you believe it here, it can be done.
Correct.
I think that is it.
That's it.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time on the running track.
Right.
See ya.